Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Welcome to Drinking Bros, fake news, everybody, bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week. And there's been a lot this week, D'Anthony. A lot of shit going on in the news this week.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit. A lot of weird shit too. Like there are times when there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's rare that you see a lot of weird ass shit going on. Like Bill Cosby getting released from prison, a fucking giant complex in Miami collapsing.
You have the NXIVM story yesterday.
Yeah,
you have
NXIVM.
This morning, Meghan McCain deuced out of The View.
Yeah,
dude.
What's the other one?
A
Tucker
tropical
Carlson
storm
is getting spied on by the NSA. There's radioactive wild boars in Fukushima. I mean, this is like a fucking TV show at this point. Jesus Christ.
It's great. The tropical storm thing too that came through about an hour ago is awesome.
Oh yeah, what's going on with that?
First name storm here of the hurricane season, and it has picked up enough wind that it is now a tropical storm. And the current model has it hitting Miami. So as if they weren't going through enough, let's throw a hurricane on top of there.
Maybe God sent it there to put out the fires or something.
Maybe.
Or the fires? I don't know.
Or, maybe someone else from up above is sending it in. And I'm talking about Donald Rumsfeld. Heaven has gained a warmongering angel.
Yeah, he was famously known for lying to get us into Iraq and also shaking Saddam Hussein's hand as he was selling the weapons that we went back into Iraq to take back from him. So, it's like that. God, what's that Jack Palance movie where he throws the gun on the ground and he's like, pick it up.
City Slickers.
Pick it up. And then the guy picks it up and he shoots him and he's like, you all saw him. He had a gun. That's pretty much what that was. Jesus fucking Christ.
Look, you were over there during this whole Rumsfeld period.
Yeah.
What was the real shit on him?
He's been in the defense industry for a very long time. That's the thing on him. It's that whole crew of congressmen that came up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s time frame, half the ownership of Halliburton, including our former vice president. They were all congressmen at some point. Then they got involved in the Defense Department. Remember, Rumsfeld was the Undersecretary of Defense under that piece of shit. So then when they got back into power with Bush, and Bush was asleep at the wheel, they're like, hey, you know what we should do is start that war we wanted. Because they're going to make a fuckload of money for themselves and their buddies.
Rumsfeld. I think that was the first time that politics came together yesterday on Twitter, and we're like, fucking rest in peace, fucker. People were not stoked either side with Donald Rumsfeld and his power all those years, but Cheney's still alive. He was trending yesterday.
Cheney's mostly a cyborg now, though, so I don't know if that one even counts. Right? Is he ever gonna die?
I don't know. How old is Dick Cheney? I feel like he'll live forever.
He is 80.
80 years old. Shit.
Probably fly fishing right now.
Yeah. Right now, dude, he's going to have a nice Sammy at lunch.
There's that dude in Puerto Rico now, the old man. He's 112 years old. I think he's the oldest living man on Earth right now. I think the oldest living woman is like 118 or something like that. But I honestly, you got to think that Cheney's got as good a chance as anybody because I guess you could just check and see when the warranty and all the fucking parts in him wear out. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either. And he's mostly stayed out of it. There was a movie about him a couple years ago.
It was Richard Dreyfuss played him, and he was really good. It was what movie? What was the name of that movie?
Jaws? No, I believe it was Christian Bale who played him, right?
Well, Dreyfuss played Cheney in W, which was.
That's right. Yeah, it was Christian Bale that played him in that last one. Yeah. Or What About Bob? I don't remember.
I didn't like either of those movies, by the way.
What About Bob? Or
no, What About Bob is great. Are you kidding me?
I was going to say, we'll end the show right now if you're going to say that shit.
No, that's one of my all-time faves. But no, neither the Cheney movie they did or W I thought was very good.
I thought W was okay. I mean, it seemed like it was kind of just a piece meant to show a very pro-Bush narrative, which was that he was naive and thought the best of people at first, and then somewhere around a year into his second term, he was like, "Hey, wait a minute, you guys better quit it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I think they thought was going to look good, but it actually did not look good.
No.
It made him look like a fucking more retarded than asshole, which I'm not sure if you want to be a bigger retard or a bigger asshole, but I would choose a third option probably.
Yeah, and with Rumsfeld, the only distinction he had was his biggest was he was the only person to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, right?
As the Secretary of Defense, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Who had him first?
See, he was the undersecretary under Cheney back in the 80s, and then he became the secretary. I think he was the Sec Def under Bush 43, right?
Yeah.
He was Gerald Ford.
Ford?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then W.
God damn it. Well, it makes sense. He's 88 years old, so or he was.
Well,
R.I.P. Obviously, but
how old is somebody that's dead? Is he 0 or is he infinity?
I don't know how that starts.
It's a math problem at that point.
Yeah, do they go back to 0 or do you just go infinity at that point?
Can we get my agents on this? Where are my agents at out there?
If you're in the message boards,
Itamashi is a black gentleman who lives in Japan, so he's got a unique perspective. Maybe if he's in the room, maybe he can do some math.
Maybe. But he's all done now. He's survived by his wife Joyce, 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and the war in Afghanistan, which is still going on. So
it's not a good thing if you got fired during the Bush administration for how you prosecuted the Iraq War, because everybody else made it. Everybody else made it all the way through 8 years, but he's the one guy that got fucking fired. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it was one right after another yesterday popping up, and it was just like, whoa, my gosh, this is a lot of news, a lot of things going on. Next up, the NSA. This story has kind of gone under the radar, I feel. Allegedly,
but there's nobody's gonna fucking report on this except for not even the other outlets. I'm sorry, the other journalists, if you want to call them that, on Fox News are saying anything about this one.
No, man. So the NSA is allegedly watching. This story is so crazy that I believe it. Like, whenever you hear a story that's crazy, you're like, I believe it. Tucker Carlson went on his show the other night and said that he was being watched, listened to, recorded, all that other stuff, and that the NSA was doing it. As Dan was saying a second ago, no one from Fox News has responded to this, which is even more bizarre.
Anywhere.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the NSA put out a statement saying, "Oh, this isn't true," but of course they're going to say that. I mean, what are they supposed to say? Like, you got me. Yeah. Fuck, you got me. You know what I mean? If you remember, and people will say that a claim like this is incredulous, or he's just looking for attention, or he's trying to deflect some of the other stuff he said by saying people are spying on, or whatever, trying to buy clout, whatever it is. But if you remember, not too long ago, about 4 and a half years ago, there was a guy who was president, black dude. I don't remember his name.
Sure.
But he used the FBI and the NSA to spy on the Trump campaign before he was ever president. Right. Mm-hmm. And then after he was elected president, continued using the intelligence agencies to try to undermine his authority and his presidency before it ever began. So if you think this isn't something that the left will do when they're in office and they have control of the intelligence agencies, you're out of your fucking mind. Like that. I don't know if any of this shit is true or not, but it just happened in the last administration. So if you don't believe it's going to happen again, you're fucking losing it, man. You got to pay attention to this shit.
Yeah. And, he was going after Hunter the hardest during that whole election and everything else. And he had the guy with the laptop on. Nobody believed him, blah, blah, blah. And so this would appear, if this is true, to be a little bit of payback. But then you start to get paranoid. You know?
Well, I mean, look, what he said was that yesterday we heard from a whistleblower within the U.S. government. This is an active NSA member who reached out to warn us that the NSA is monitoring our electronic communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. So they've been monitoring their phone calls and their text messages between what is presumably Tucker and his producers and sources outside of their purview. And their intent is to leak them, which begs the question, and Tucker said leaked them in an attempt to take the show off the air. What did he say in private that's going to get his show taken off the air?
Well, there's one word he could have said, but we all know
for
what that
Fox
is.
News, right? I mean, the slur for gay probably wouldn't be enough.
No,
but I don't know why you would just be casually saying that in text messages with informants and shit. But I don't understand why you would just walk outside your house and yell it into people's Ring cameras either. So, who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those things where with him, he looks like the white guy who's always been too afraid to say it. So I don't think that's it. But you could get some, Project Veritas bullshit where it's like, hey, we really got to hammer home this narrative, or some conversation between your producers for that. Hey, we're going to talk about the fake election or whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
But that's I don't see him saying that just because, again, he just looks too afraid. And that motherfucker's been in media for decades now. It's been 20 years? I think.
Yeah, people have been trying to take him down for a very long time.
Long time.
And again, none of the other Fox hosts have backed him up, and maybe they're not privy to the information. I mean, look, if somebody from the NSA called me right now and said, hey, people are spying on you, and I told you about it, I wouldn't expect you just to believe that and then start reporting on it. Why would you? Without first hand, that's not what journalism is. So I don't blame the Fox reporters for not reporting on it. Maybe they can report on it, but not say, yeah, I know for sure that's happening, because how could they possibly know? So he's filed FOIA requests. And we'll see if that goes anywhere. I doubt it. But the NSA put out a statement that said Tucker Carlson's never been an intelligence target of the agency, and the NSA has never had any plans to try to take his program off the air. By the way, the NSA doesn't have, they're not supposed to be spying on people anyways, nor is the CIA or anybody else. Not here in the United States.
No, I just assume that we are already. I've kind of moved past that.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, all right, great. I'm definitely being watched, listened to.
Yeah,
touched.
It's Angelina Jolie's dad doing it.
Yeah. It's Sean Voight. Because every word that comes out of my mouth magically appears on Facebook and Instagram all day long. So it's not even close to being hidden anymore. The other hilarious thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The other hilarious thing is sometimes, like if just this phone is in my vicinity, and I'm doing a show like Ross Patterson Revolution or this one, right after it's over, whatever I just talked about on that show usually pops up in my feed. I mean, to an exact T. We were talking about Giannis earlier going down and not being able to play tonight. First thing in my Facebook feed when I opened it up after that show was Giannis is going down on my Facebook feed. And I was like, how'd you know, bro? How'd you know?
Yeah. That shit happens all the time. So I think it's pretty much undeniable by now. Pretty much every major tech company has been sued or investigated for it at this point. So it's going on all the time. So in the follow-up show, Tucker said something that piqued my interest. He said that the NSA has read my private emails without my permission, period. Today's statement from the NSA does not deny that. And maybe they didn't deny it. Maybe they will come back and deny it later. But if you listen to that entire segment, he goes on to describe what is essentially a canary trap. If you're an intelligence agency or a media company or anybody that just wants to keep your secrets and you think somebody's leaking your information, this is what you do. You take the same piece of information and you change little parts of it, right? So you change an or to like an and, you know what I mean? So like instead of saying we're going to go to Miami or Florida, we're going to go to Miami or Atlanta, you say we're going to go to Miami and Atlanta. Then when you see the quote on the back end, you know who it came from based on that one word in the entire fucking like 5-page statement. It's called a canary trap. And it's been used by intelligence agencies for decades now. So my guess is, based on what he's saying, is what Tucker did was he started once he got that tip, he started altering certain emails and then putting out specific and incorrect information and then looking at the report on the other end, right?
Sure.
So if I have like a 3-man team, I'll put guys in 3 different locations and then I'll say, hey, our meet location is here. And I'll put that out over the airwaves. But only so many people can see it. And then I see which one of the 3 locations they show up to. Then you can tell who's the fucking rat or who's spying on you. That's how it goes.
Well, I don't know what Tucker's going to do here coming up.
He's going to get murdered by John Voight and Jack Black.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
And Barry Pepper. Who else is on? That's a great fucking movie, by the way.
Seth Green.
Seth Green.
Well, Seth Green didn't murder anybody. Let's be real. That dude's like 5'1".
That might be generous, Dan. He might be 5 feet.
Jack Black's kind of short too, isn't he? Like 5'6" or something.
Yeah,
5'5",
he's a smaller man, very robust.
I love that dude. By the way, did you see that shitty? Somebody posted it. I think it was on TikTok or Instagram the other day. He showed up to somebody's graduation, and not only did he stop to take a picture with all the guys, but he actually posed all of them in the right place so they get the best light, so they get the best picture. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
He does shit like that all the time. And his Instagram is amazing, by the way. It's unbelievably really produced and everything else. I saw him do Conan O'Brien's last show the other night. He was the final guest for it.
Yeah,
he's great. And he comments on shit all the time. I don't know if he follows me, but he comments on my shit. And every time I'm always like, oh, fuck, dude, Jack Black. This is dope.
That's what happens when an actual cool guy that doesn't give a fuck about anything becomes famous. You know what I mean? Not somebody who spent their entire life trying to become famous. Just some dude gets randomly famous. Those are the good times.
Yeah. He's definitely one of those guys. He lived in my street, actually. He would just smoke weed on his porch. He's great. You know what else is great? Ghost Beds. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros is the very best mattress on the planet. Happy 4th of July, kids. Don't think about the fireworks. Think about the deals. Think about the fireworks of deals going off at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Go there now. There's a bunch of bundle deals that are up and at 'em. And you can pick out your favorite. And then at the end, you get a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest there, as long as you have decent credit, obviously. And you pop that in, and congratulations. You might leave with a goddamn $35 a month payment. Maybe. I'm not making any promises here because I don't know how crazy their deals are. They're always doing shit. The pillows are amazing. The mattresses are amazing. And the fucking sheets. Soup's underrated. Big fan. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Next up, the Florida condo sales they've collapsed a little bit. Too soon?
We don't like puns here, but I do like puns when they involve violence.
Yeah. This is a fucking awful one. Last Thursday, obviously 55 units in a residential building in Florida suddenly collapsed in the middle of the night. After 7 days of searching, 16 people have been pronounced dead and another 147 remain missing. One resident, Maria, she is kindly known by her friends, probably because that's her birth name, who survived the collapse, said, "It's like something supernatural woke me up. I felt something strange. It felt like the building was moving." And then she described a crack forming along the wall, which continued to grow. And this starts to sound like a fucking Hollywood movie. What a nightmare this is. The other report about this that came out was that the inspector was on the roof of that building like literally 8 hours earlier before it collapsed.
And wasn't there, I didn't read the entire thing, but didn't, I think it was Hot Bob that mentioned it to me earlier in the week. Wasn't there something about the guy that owned the building had been notified that there's all this shit, like $55 million worth of construction needed to be done to it immediately, or some bad shit was going to happen. I know that. I don't remember the exact numbers or timeframes or whatever, but I know that happened.
Yeah, look it up, Bob. They this building and these types of structures, they'll give you warnings and all that shit. The problem is the real estate and construction down in Miami is so fucking expensive.
Yeah, fucking yeah.
You just kind of
right now. I mean, when Bob told me that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, and maybe he's on the hook for it. But right now, I'm thinking about, and you know this now, Bob, yourself, because of fucking. You just became a
homeowner.
Not a homeowner, but this is the first time I think you're going to build one. The build times have gone from 4 to 8 months to like 13 plus months now. Yeah. So I wonder, that's got to be impacting the fucking rebuilds and stuff too, right?
Yeah. So we just kind of locked down the build on our home, and they were like, we're 4 months behind. Yep. On everything.
Yep.
So you
already
sign the contract.
You haven't even
today.
got started yet, and you're 4 months behind.
Yeah, so it'll start about 4 months from today, and then the build is like 8 to 10 months from that. This New York Times story from yesterday said an engineer warned of major structural damage at this complex in 2018. Urged managers to repair the cracked columns. The work was literally about to get underway within days when the building collapsed.
No shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I don't know what kind of I mean, obviously there's some kind of liability because you own the building. But if you're out of compliance with certain things, then insurance won't pay for it, right? That's the big difference here. He's going to owe people money, particularly the family members of dead people, money regardless. But it's a matter of whether or not his insurance is going to pay out. Because if it was 2018 that recommendation came down the line, whether it was official or not, and he waited 3 years, 2018. If it had happened at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, with all the pandemic nonsense, maybe he would have an argument against it. But I think this guy's fucked,
dude. So one of the things on this says that there was water leaking down from the pool area into the garage, so the pool was just seeping into the building.
Oh, gross!
What was the pool on the roof?
I think so.
Man, whenever I see a pool on a roof, I'm like, man, that's gonna be a no-go for me, dog. Every single time, that shit never ends up well. The problem with this, Stan, is there is a lot of condos and high-rises built on shit like this. I remember in New York City, man, this was like 07, 08. I got a call. I was doing this show, and they, like, the Screen Actors Guild puts you up somewhere or whatever, and they were like, yeah, you know, you're recording in Battery Park, so we're going to put you up there. And I was like, where? And I was like, what's in Battery Park? And they were like, oh, there's high rises and all that stuff. They're brand new. They're beautiful. You're gonna like them or whatever. And I was like, Battery Park was where they put all the dirt into the river because they were doing construction in like Midtown and everything else. And I was like, so they just built on top of that dirt is what you're saying? And they were like, yeah. But it's super beautiful and it's nice and it's safe. And I'm like, none of this shit sounds safe. Same with this.
No, it's certainly not safe. Right. I mean, so if you remember that, what's it called? The Transamerica building in San Francisco, the one that looks like it's pointy at the top or whatever. It's like 700 feet tall.
Yeah.
In 2019, there was a settlement reached. It's a 58-story skyscraper. The people had bought these condos and stuff. They got a huge settlement just because the condos were fucked now. The sidewalk is cracking on the ground. The building is like starting to lean and shit. And if you don't know much about San Francisco, it should not exist, right?
Right.
Like they certainly should not have built all that shit on there. It was beautiful at one point, but it's fucked now, like big time. The Millennium Tower is fucked, and the Transamerica building is fucked. They came up with like $100 million plan to renovate the thing, and there was a huge settlement paid out to all the people who owned the condos in there. Like the average condo was purchased for like $320,000 in there. You can imagine what it was in San Francisco after the run on the housing market from like 2010 to 2018, right? I mean, who knows how much money these people had to pay out? But this shit never works. When you put a fucking a high rise in a coastal town and put human beings living there and owning that property, it has not gone well once, ever.
No, and you know, looking at it from a homeowner's perspective, because I've owned, you know, a few homes over the years. When something like this happens, you know, and you lose your house or where you're living, part of it falls on the insurance, right? And then they're going to look at what happened and why, and then determine the rest. And that's when you can sue the building owner and everything else. The problem is how much insurance that guy or that person or that company actually had. So the Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash case just got settled the other day. And they did settle. They did not go to court. I had called this a long time ago because I think the helicopter service itself had about a 28 million life insurance policy or insurance policy on it. And so when, you know, Vanessa Bryant was suing on behalf of the rest of the families, there's only a certain dollar amount you can go to at that point, and I think that'll probably happen in this case as well.
Probably, yeah. And I'm reading the comments now. Brittany she does insurance, and she's saying you get, under a typical policy, you get 12 months to make repairs once you're notified the repairs are necessary. Now, 2018, 2021 minus 2018
3
is
years.
Fuck.
3
I don't know math.
Yeah, 3 years.
Get those Asians out here again. Let's get that figured out. One cool thing that did happen with all this though is that unit what the fuck is it? Unit 9900,
Okay.
which is a specialized tech unit inside of the Israeli Defense Forces. What they do is they build augmented reality for training purposes and for reconnaissance purposes. So they'll send a drone out, and we do this too, but these guys are super specialized at it. They'll send a drone out, take 3D pictures of buildings, of local areas, et cetera, and you can use it for offensive stuff. But what I used to use it for back in the day when I was doing security contracting in California was we would build 3D models of buildings and develop emergency management plans and shit. Now, what they did was they used the augmented reality and CGI to build the building that collapsed and then show what the collapse would look like so they can go in afterwards and try to find these fucking people and remove rock without disturbing pockets that might be there where survivors might be. Like, this is whole new shit that we've never seen before.
So let me ask you this, because they are still searching, and like we said, there's over 100 and something still missing.
150 last time I checked. Yeah.
Is it possible that anybody's still alive underneath this?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But it depends, right? So if there's fire, the smoke will get into those areas and kill them for sure. They'll never survive that. If there's water, there's a chance, depending on how the water's flowing and if it's setting or not. But they're running out of time. I mean, the average human being can go a certain amount of time without water and a certain amount of time without food. And if there's prolonged exposure to shock and stuff like that, you'll die. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on there. So to be honest, man, if they haven't found these people by today, it's, what has it been, 8-9 days now?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I would say that there's not a whole lot of hope at this point.
Yeah, an exact week, Bob is saying.
It's 7 days. Yeah. So
yeah.
You never know, but I doubt it, man.
Yeah. Am I allowed to say who you were at dinner with the other night?
Who I was at dinner with?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was at dinner with Suarez, the mayor of Miami.
Did you guys chat about this? Did he discuss that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little about the recovery efforts and stuff like that. But I think by then, that was 2 nights ago. By then, I mean, 5 days into a situation like that, you're pretty sure what the situation is, right? I mean, if you find somebody, it's like finding. I don't want to be coarse, but it's like finding that $100 bill in your pocket you forgot about 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's unexpected surprise, a good surprise at this point, but I do not expect them to find any more survivors.
And it's tough, man, because I'm watching the news footage every night, and people are angry that they're not doing enough and everything else. But look, you're looking at a building. You almost have to treat it like 9/11 when that collapse happened. Remember, they were going through the rubble for days and days and days, and it's like. There's just not a lot you can do simply because of the space that you're in. In particular, in Miami, if you had a wide open field on both sides, yes, you could bring in more excavation crews and all that other stuff. You just don't have the space to put all of those crews in there. And if you haven't been down there, it is high rise after high rise after high rise. So I don't know where you're able to put all that equipment and then where you're going to move it afterwards, because trying to get it out of Miami is a bitch as well. Like all that's cement.
There's an old saying in the security industry that the best time to do a security audit is right after something bad happens, right? Because it's like pouring water into a bucket and you can see where the holes are. And now we've seen it. So I think what Unit 9900 did from the IDF there in Miami, what they were able to do with augmented reality and CGI, the technical part of it now is looking pretty good. I mean, you've got to, what I would say is they should de facto deputize construction crews in the area, because anybody that's been to LA and New York, fucking Miami, any of those places, there's always cranes somewhere in the city, right? Yep. They're always somewhere. There's always trucks. There's always construction equipment of some sort somewhere in the city. I would say if you're one of those places that have city contracts, that have city permits, maybe a week at a time, you're on call, and if there's an emergency, you fucking show up and use your equipment to help. I think that's a really good fucking idea.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the message boards here. Riz, it's RJH. Sorry, That's the real pronunciation here. So he says, I work in private aviation. The number of insurers is disappearing and the costs are going through the roof. Yes, on the Kobe Bryant incident, of course. But by the way, same with these buildings near beaches and everything else. I talked about how much USAA helped me out with my house in Central Texas. However, when I lost that house in Hurricane Sandy, they don't insure places near beaches like that, including in North Carolina. I couldn't get them for the North Carolina house either, simply because there is so much risk and there's hurricanes and everything else. In a lot of these places, I have a feeling what you just said in here is going to happen now to these condos and things like that are on beaches or on what they would be viewed as unstable ground. Because if this happened here, Miami built so quickly, you can only imagine that probably a bunch of these buildings aren't up to code. So.
Right. Well, I mean, this is another one of those times where the good old boy system and the fucking hand-to-hands that result in expedited permits get exposed and local politicians get hammered, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're a local politician in Miami right now, you're probably fucked, to be honest.
But for no reason. A lot of these buildings were built 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So, it takes a while for this shit to sink, and then boom. What we saw happen obviously happened. So, yes, you could go in and say, fix the codes, fix all the stuff. But what that guy was saying was, dude, the insurance now is going to go through the roof for anybody owning a condo in Miami. It is already expensive to live there as it is. So.
And by the way, not just for the people who own the condos, but the people who own the buildings and then rent out the condos. Now, these people have been getting hammered for a while now by the pandemic shit. While everybody else is getting fucking bailed out and all this stuff, and everybody's rent is being postponed, they've been eating those costs. Most of those places are owned by somebody that owns 5 or 6 buildings, not somebody that owns 500 or 600. Right. And now it's going to get even worse for them. So here's what happens: you look at these people that own 5 or 6 high-rise buildings, and they're probably pretty wealthy, right? They really are pretty wealthy. But in comparison to the companies that are going to come in, the only people on earth with the capital to come in and buy that, right? They're not that wealthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're taking money out of the hands of money and power and responsibility out of the hands of millionaires and putting it into the hands of billionaires. When has that ever worked out?
Yeah, probably not going to work out this time either. Boy, it's the whole thing's such a fucking mess that now they're going to start sending in, rightfully so, people to check the codes on all these fucking buildings. And man, this story is not going away for a while. I can promise you that. Next up, we got a new sponsor on the show here that I'm amped about. We got the furniture out here in the office, actually, which is nice. I am super excited to tell you about Allform. We love their products and can't wait to tell you about the best sofas in the game. Those are upstairs on the news set too, I think too. Yeah, boo bang. We got
there's some up there. There's also, if you've watched the Giggle Boys yet, those brown leather chairs back there are fucking Allform.
Oh, the Giggle Boys, dude. I love the Giggle Boys. But if you're watching Giggle Boys, don't just show up at the studio at 9:00 and say, hey, can we do a show? High as shit. Yeah. Probably not the best idea. You might want to schedule that with Delco Dan and those guys. They're hilarious. I saw their fucking Instagram post last night and they were like, man, turns out you can't just do this. And the chairs were in there. So I saw them in the video and I was like, way to go. At least use the chairs correctly. This is super easy, man. You just go on, you customize the sofa using premium materials, and it's a fraction of the cost. It just gets shipped right to you. You can pick the fabric, if it's spill, stain, and scratch resistant, the colors of the legs, sofa size, all that other stuff. They've got armchairs, love seats, all the way up to an 8-seat sectional. It's big, but it's nice, and it gets shipped to your house, so you don't have to fucking do that bullshit. And it's free shipping, by the way. I know you're thinking, like, hey, man, that's going to get costly. No. With free shipping, you're good to go on this furniture, and you can assemble it yourself. It takes 3 to 7 days to arrive in the mail, and just a few minutes with no tools needed. We have them all throughout our office here. We're big fans, and they just showed up.
They also have something that you wouldn't expect from a company like this. People think of like two tiers of furniture that you can buy on the internet. One is like from one of the higher retail places, that's going to be thousands of dollars for every piece that you buy. And the other one's like the shitty Swedish stuff that you have to put together and it lasts for about 6 months.
Yep.
This stuff is super high quality and relatively inexpensive. And they have something they call a forever warranty, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Forever.
Like they literally have a lifetime warranty on furniture, which seems like a bad idea, but hey, you know what? It's not my money. So do whatever you want, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So to find the perfect sofa, check out allform.com/drinkinbros, where Allform is offering a 20% off for all orders to our listeners at Allform, allform.com/drinkinbros. That is allform.com/drinkinbros. 20% off, and it gets shipped right to your house. Next up.
Oh, also, by the way, we're going to put out a video of Giorgio and those guys putting all that stuff together too, and you can see how simple it is.
Oh.
It actually is. It's pretty easy.
Is Giorgio wearing clothes in it, though, is the question.
I wasn't there, so I can't say for sure.
Optional.
What does does a layer of Vaseline count?
Is he Vaseline or is he a cocoa butter guy? I don't really know.
I think he might be CLP. It's military gun lube, basically.
That's nice. That's real nice. Speaking of gun lube, next up, Cosby used some of that probably at one point. The judicial system swaps one sexual predator for another. Comedian and mixed drink connoisseur Bill Cosby. Can we get the sound effect? There we go. There it is. Never gets old, Dan. Never gets old. I appreciate that.
Do you think when Bill got home
from jail,
he looked at everybody in the room and said, "Hey, drinks are on me"? It's curious. I'm not the one that raped a bunch of people, so
obviously. Or do you think after dinner he was like, "Where's the pudding pops"? Do they still make those anymore? Do they still make pudding? No. Delco Dan is saying no.
He actually got a new pudding pop design made, and it looks like a Pez dispenser, so it just feeds the fucking roofies right up through the middle.
Boom, boom. The roofies you can't come back from. I can come back from everything else. I can't come back from the roofies though. It happened to me by a gay bartender in L.A., and I barely made it home that night.
Well, I'm not going to say that I used to take them recreationally, but I definitely tipped them.
Did you really?
Yes, sir, I sure did. It's fucking delicious. So if you take the right amount, it is one of the best, experiences of your life. It's like, think of it as a 3-parter. You take one part, you're like, oh, I feel all right. You take 2 parts, you're like, and if that's a pro level, you're like, oh, I feel really good. You take 3 parts, you don't remember. They call, I think Joe Bluth called them forget-me-nows.
Yeah.
16 hours of fucking erased time, basically, is what that is. So you want to try to fucking avoid that whole shit.
Big shock on my end, but one of our fraternity brothers did it, and he said, look, stay in the room. It was like 8 of us, and he goes, stay in the room and just tell me like what's going on and everything else. And he goes, I think I can beat this. I think I can beat a roofie. We were like, all right, man, it's on you. He did not beat the roofie and was completely blacked out. He could have been raped multiple times by everyone, and no one would have known.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking intense, man.
Oh, Womb Raider. Yeah, that's right. Segura does a great bit on himself. Like he was taking GHB recreationally and overdosed on it, and he told it's really. God, look up.
Tom Segura did he G-hold?
Yeah, I don't know if that was on his show or in stand-up, but I've seen that story before. It's really funny.
Yeah, we've all G-hold, I think, at some point, but that's funny, man. I haven't heard that. Big fan of Tom Segura, though. Shout out to him. Cosby got released, and then right as he got released, because we were live on air yesterday, we were like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? The girl from Smallville, she only got 3 years. She was fucking branding people in a sex cult, which was awesome. So they kind of just swapped those out, but the number worked out dead even. So Cosby.
Wait, what did Aunt Becky get?
She got about 3 months. So
3 months.
And then with good behavior, she was out of there in like probably 4 weeks or something like that, I think.
So you get 3 months for trying to do something for your kids, and you brand people's vaginas, and you get 3 years. She'll be out in 18 months, right? More than likely.
I don't know. I don't know, but Cosby now, which we talked about this a touch at the end of RPR because it was breaking news, is huddled up with his lawyers today and is looking to actually sue the city who charged him. And like that, the chances are, look, they tried him illegally. He will probably walk out of there with a settlement too. So at the end of raping all these people, he's going to get paid millions of dollars to have done so, which is a really heartwarming story. And,
yeah, kind of. This whole situation almost reminds you of when Teflon Don back in the way, I think it was 90 or 91, got taken to federal court and won his case. And then he started he was on the front of Time magazine or some shit, waving at people and gloating. And then he, a couple years later ended up spending the rest of his life in prison. It's not a good idea when you beat the federal government to rub it in their face because it's the federal government. But, we'll see. Based on the facts of the case, he should win a settlement. When I say should, I mean legally speaking. I think that he should be dead, frankly, for raping people. But based on how the judge handled that case, he should win a settlement from the government. Yes.
Yeah, it's boy, it's one of those things where it's coming. I was talking to my wife about it last night, offline, and I was just like, man, looking at this, like, can't he sue for being in prison for that long for an illegal tactic? And then sure enough, boom, it popped up this morning that they're already huddling up and looking at a lawsuit for that. And he's got plenty of money to do so. Right. Something I wanted to ask you, Dan, I don't think this was federal though, was it?
No, it was the Pennsylvania Supreme Court,
okay.
So it's a state case.
Gotcha.
There's limits on how much you can sue for in the states like that, but we'll see. I mean, either way, he's going to get some money. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and then homegirl from Smallville, Allison Mack, she got 3 years. You're right, she'll probably get out in like 18 months, and then write a book, make a couple $1 million on it. And if she does a doc for like HBO or Netflix, going into all of the shit and showing her pussy with the fucking branding on it, like, congratulations, I'm all in. I'd watch that night one. So she'll probably come out of the other side of this doing really well as well. Because, I mean, shit, everybody's going to want to know the inside knowledge of what happened in that sex cult. So, fucking A, man. The worst people just keep doing better and better and better, which is awesome. You know what else is awesome? The new merch store, dude. Drinkinbros.com is live. All of the shit is in there. I think the last thing we have left is hats, right?
Yeah, the hats actually just got the final email for the final proof right now. So those will be in as soon as we get the product in. But everything else right now, if you want to jump over to drinkinbros.com right now and check out the store, all sorts of stuff on here that's new. I'm going to go through some of it right quick.
You're wearing one, right? You're actually wearing one on camera right now.
Yeah, it says ape. A lot of people ask for this one specifically because they want to be able to call people cunts low key in public, which I understand.
Yeah.
But now we've got long sleeve tees and sweaters that say all politicians are cunts. We have flags.
Yeah, pop it up on screen, Bob.
We've got
Drinkin'
koozies. We have some new coffee mugs that are dope.
They're right in front of me, actually. Boom, bam.
Well, we've got new coffee mugs that are cool in the bottom. Coasters. We got defund politicians flags. Finally, that's one I've been personally waiting for. So I can fly that bitch everywhere, including on my boat.
Yeah, you got some American party gear.
We got some cool. We got a nice cooler. We got some beer pong cups. We got the slim koozie for the White Claw cans. And for seltzer cans.
Our seltzer's coming out here, so we just signed the paperwork. The last thing we have to do is the operating agreement, and that's it. Boom, that is going to be out into the world. In 6 to 8 weeks, they said. So
we got some chairs. We have one chair. It's like a folding chair that you would take to a tailgating situation. We figured we needed to have at least one of those.
And if we come to your tailgate, you better have our seltzer there. It'll be live. Like I said, 6 to 8 weeks. We just finished the initial stuff. The operating agreement is the only thing we have left for like a couple investors, but that's about it.
And then we got some stickers and shot glasses to round out the group. That's pretty much it right now. We got some other stuff in the works. And then again, hats will be there soon. So go ahead and mosey on over to Drinkin' Bros. I'll tell you this right now. The first order, just to see what you guys would like to purchase, We didn't overstock things, so there's limited supplies of everything. So if you want stuff, go get it now. And then as soon as you get it, post pictures, tag us in it, review it, let us know what you liked and what you didn't like, so we can continue to develop the store. Because really, it's for you guys to buy. I mean, honestly, we've spent more money on this we've made so far just because we keep getting shit for us to wear personally.
Well, and we're trying it out. Like, we're getting all the sample products sent to us. So some of the shit you see that we're wearing that you're like, oh, shit, where can I get that? It's not here because we try to get test ones sent to us and be like, all right, this works, this doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. Same with the seltzer. And I can confirm this now that we're this deep into it. The cases you order of the seltzer when that comes out will have all 4 flavors in it. So it's a variety pack. There isn't one singular one, so that way you'll get to try all of them. And then what D'Anthony was saying, we'll go back in later and then tweak it if you guys want other shit in there. Next up, Chicago's crime rate is dropping. And if you disagree, you're racist. Chicago Mayor Beetlejuice, Mayor
I don't
Lori
think you're supposed to
Lightfoot.
say it 3 times in a row like that.
I think
though,
you
unless you're
are.
trying to get Homeboy to show up.
I am. I want her here.
Michael Keaton is he's a busy guy. You need to leave him alone.
I want Lori Lightfoot in the office. She's recently denied claims that crime is out of control in her city and later insisted that racism is at the root of all the accusations. Last Friday, when questioned about whether she owes an apology to the victims of violent crime in her city, she responded, "Sir, I ask you to get your facts right first. Crim, or crime, as it's commonly known, if you don't have an E in this word, is not out of control in our city. In fact, crime is on the decline. Our homicides and our shootings year over year are down. That's a fact, sir." Now, the crime statistics in Chicago paint a different picture.
Right.
Shootings are up 12% from last year.
Yeah, so statistics are facts, by the way. Not that woman with the weird eyes and the unkempt hair. It is numbers, data, right? Like if somebody says, "How tall are you?" You don't say, "You know what? I'm probably about fucking 5'10". I mean, I feel like I'm 5'10". No, you fucking measure yourself, you stupid fuck. Jesus Christ. So what you were about to say before Adderall got involved right there.
No. Actually, so funny story here with this. I just read this like Anchorman. So it is written as crim in here. There's
oh yeah, no, I saw that part. Yeah,
there is no E, and I was like, crim, and I'm trying to decide what it is in my mind as I'm reading it, and I'm like, I think he meant to write an E in there at the end of it. Shout out to
Cooper.
Shout out to Coop from Iconoblast who helps write the news for us.
Maybe his mustache got in the way.
Maybe it did, but crim is up.
Crim is up 12% from last year, 59% higher than 2019, right? So it's on the rise over the last 3 years. It's not like it dipped in 2020 all of a sudden, or dipped in 19 and then rose again because of some extenuating circumstance. No, it's been on the rise forever. Homicides have also increased in since 2020 with 326 murders so far this year compared to 323 last year. So it's at least commensurate, right? And 241 in the same time frame in 2019. So the last 2 years, it has been significantly higher. 80 more murders through the first half of the year than previously, right? I mean, that's quite a few. That's 25% more.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's a couple, and then the shootings, murders, sexual assaults are all up 22% when compared to last year as well. Yeah, man, I don't know what world we live in anymore. Like I've pretty much accepted the fact that everybody's dumb, including myself, and I can't take any of this seriously anymore. I'm just glad I don't live there. If I lived there, I'd be fucking furious about it. And the other disappointing part of this is Chicago, much like San Francisco, is a beautiful city. I love going to Chicago, man. It's a fucking blast. But crim is a problem there, Dan.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting too. I mean, the coincidences happen all the time, but Lori Lightfoot took office on May 20th, 2019, and since then we've seen a 25% rise in murders in her city. Yep. You got to take some responsibility at some point, right? And not call people racist because they're pointing out numbers. I'm pretty sure that math isn't racist.
Well, that's the easiest answer nowadays, man. And like, that's what is shitty, man. This Scottie Pippen thing too this week, where he called Phil Jackson racist for wanting to give, the final shot in that game to Tony Kukoc. It's like, dude, he made the shot. You won the fucking game. Like, what's racist about that? I don't get
Right.
it.
I don't know. I mean,
I've never heard Phil Jackson be called racist ever.
John Paxson, Steve Kerr are responsible for 2 of the 6 titles they had, right?
But
Not
those
solely,
were here's the thing. Those were passes, and there was footage.
Those were design plays. You watch
Yeah.
watch the what the fuck is the doc with Jordan?
The Last Dance. He literally
Last Dance,
says
he's
on
he tells,
camera.
Yeah, he tells Kerr, he's like, hey, if you're fucking open, you're getting the ball.
And
Be ready to shoot.
It was captured. And so here's the thing. Scottie Pippen went back and said Jordan knew the cameras were there, and he was just saying that for the cameras and for the story.
Why would Jordan, the best player of all time, have to say anything like that? If he took the shot and missed, nobody would blame him.
No.
Pippen's been on one lately, though.
That's because everybody's fucking
drilling his ex-wife. Yeah.
Well, and his son died.
Well, that's too bad.
But he's been dragging Kevin Durant, and there was another dude too. Like, he's been going after like NBA player after an NBA player lately.
I understand people that don't like Durant because he either beat up on their team or because he joined the Warriors or whatever fuck like that. But he doesn't really say anything or do anything negative, right? He's not like trashing other players. He's not out doing stupid shit all the time. He's quiet. He spends most of his time investing in technology, to be honest.
Durant?
Yeah.
He'll only pop out when somebody talks shit about him, and then he'll use his burner account.
Yeah.
But with Scottie Pippen,
that's pretty funny.
What I heard behind the scenes, and I guess we can let the audience know this because we were supposed to have one of the producers on. He was really sick, and I mean a medical condition, not like COVID or something. But we're supposed to have one of the producers on there. What I heard was that Pippen was pissed off about his portrayal in that documentary. But it was like, dude, you gave the interviews. Like,
you also fucking were in, what was it, the 94 season, the one that Jordan was out the whole time during the playoffs, and he basically sat out.
He did, yeah.
What do you expect to happen, dude? You quit on your team.
Yes.
Fuck you.
And that's why the game-winning shot went to someone else, and the guy made it.
I mean, why would Phil Jackson reward that kind of Phil Jackson, a guy who, I mean, I don't want to characterize it wrong. He doesn't play mind games with people, but he's like Belichick and like Brady's doing it now. He motivates people and uses the press as a weapon to do that, right? Very frequently during his career, he did that, whether it was Jordan or anybody else. But the fact is, Pippen quit on his team. Why? No person in their right mind would reward that behavior.
No, and it's so easy now just to call somebody racist. And then that's because once you say it, then you're fucking labeled it. And it's just like, hey, is Phil Jackson racist? No one has called Phil Jackson racist in fucking 50 years of playing basketball, all the way back to the New York Knicks when he was playing. Like, no one has called Phil Jackson racist because he gave the last shot to somebody else who made it. Like, that makes him racist?
Yeah.
Fuck off with that shit, Scottie Pippen. You're better than that. You're better than that. Next up, a British man follows in the footsteps of Rachel Dolezal and becomes transracial, which is nice. Now we're getting somewhere. British influencer Ollie London has recently undergone plastic surgery to more closely resemble his identity, Korean. Bob, if you have a picture of this, please post it on the screen.
Yeah,
I read this story and I thought it was fake, and I was like, I've got to see a photo of this guy. But no, this man has undergone 18 surgeries so far to look like his favorite BTS singer, and it is fucking frightening. Put that on. The laughter already from you guys like says it all.
So now is he identifying as North Korean or South Korean?
Believe South Korean. That's where BTS is from, right?
You'll be able to tell by the hair, probably.
There
right?
you go. Pop that up. Look at that.
Boy.
Yeesh. They did a good job, though. I will say, if you look at the BTS singer that he was going after, like to look like, he did a great job.
Who was it? What was the singer's name that he's trying to look like?
Boy, I mispronounce everything, Dan. Do you really want to throw one more fucking bone my way?
You're obviously not going to be able to say a Korean person's name. I just want to see a picture of the person that he's trying to look like.
It starts with a Y. How about that? Bob. If you pull up one of those articles, it'll pull it up for you. But I'm not going to try to even throw my hat in the ring to try to mispronounce that fucking guy's name. I know it starts with a Y. That's it. But if you pull up the article, that's what it is. So this man is identifying now as Korean. He's saying
also identifies as non-binary, so I'm not sure if man is the right.
Well, I am too. We are too, Dan, over here, I should say. I'm non-binary as well. And I don't see colors or sexual orientations. But he says,
no, that's just color blindness. Like that's a medical condition. It's
now
not the same thing.
He says, now finally, I feel Korean. I identify with the Korean community. Maybe they will accept me more now because I have the look. Maybe people will think I'm actually Korean, which would make me really happy.
God, let me stop you right there. All right, so the non-binary sexuality thing. There's 2 chromosomes, and gender dysmorphia is a thing. It happens for sure. But there's nothing mentally, there's nothing cognitively, evolutionarily speaking, that would identify you as one particular race over another. That doesn't even make sense. That is cultural, cultural is 100% environment. There's no fucking genetic version of that, except for maybe if you're Scandinavian and don't like spicy food. Yeah, sure. But the way you look and feel, that's fucking retarded. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Not only is it crazy, but he's never been to Korea. So like you were saying, North or South, you don't know anything about Korea or anything else. You can get as many plastic surgeries as you want. It's still not going to make you from that country.
I think they should go ahead and fucking ship them on over to North Korea. I'll buy that. As a matter of fact, Drinkin Bros, Tetherball Academy Media will buy you a first-class ticket to North Korea.
We're all in. That's real. We'll do it.
But that's a one-way trip, though. I'm not paying for the way back. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the British 22nd SAS is probably going to have to come rescue you. That's how that's going to work. So good luck, fuckface. Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot.
Bob, do you have the picture of the kid? The BTS kid?
Yeah, we put it up.
Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, put it up again. I didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't see it. Let's find this little BTSer.
We got to switch out Dan's face for this much prettier one.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, boy.
Look at that. Even dyed the hair, too.
I don't know. Man, there's just so much going on.
Is there, Bob? Is there? It's in the same article, by the way.
It feels like they got a nose job.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that has to do with.
I like how you try to correct your pronoun usage midstream there. That's
I'm doing the
way
best
to go,
I can.
Bob. No, because he wants to look identical to the guy. So if you pop the guy up on screen,
so this is like the Barbie and Ken situation.
Yeah.
Where the people got plastic surgery to literally look like Barbie and Ken.
Yes. Pop him up on screen, the real guy. And let's go side by side. It's in the articles, Bob. I mean, they're identical looking. You know.
I'm looking at one right now. Go to Google, type Ollie London BTS, and then put them side by side. Jesus Christ, Bob, you're supposed to be our producer.
Come on, Bob.
I'm gonna shit in your mouth and then burn your house down before it even gets built.
There it is. Look at the two of them.
If you're gonna light my house on fire, please do it while it's a concrete slab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Very similar. Very similar. I think the doctors did a great job, actually. Is it weird?
Well, it's hard to tell. This is like immediately post-surgery on the right here.
Yeah.
So, look,
we'll see. Is it weird that I think all those BTS kids had surgery too? So look, I think we're all heading towards that picture right there, Bob, and this guy. I think that's what a lot of people in this world want the country to head into. Is we all look the same. We're kind of unidentifiable. We might be from anywhere. Definitely genderless.
This is the goddamn Hunger Games, my man.
Yes.
That's what's happening right here.
And it's an episode of South Park.
It is. Yeah. It's like
everything in life is an episode of South Park, though. Let's be real. They've done it all at this point.
Yeah, that and The Simpsons. Finally, a sex bot for people who want to relive their traumatic childhood. This is my favorite story of the week. Real Doll, the company behind the world's most realistic sex dolls, has unveiled their newest creation on June 15th. The sex bot was custom made upon request and resembles an elderly man with gray hair and a wrinkled face.
Jesus, did the Catholic Church pay for this?
You've got to pop this picture up, Bob. This
you got to
one
be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. Yep. It's terrifying, by the way, this picture. So look up the elderly sex doll. The cost of the old man doll hasn't been revealed, but the company's flagship model, a female doll named Harmony, sells for around $12,000. There it is, right there. I Grandpa. Look at that.
Oh my God, I Grandpa. And by the way, we're editorializing when we say relive their traumatic childhood. That's not the purpose of this thing.
Now, the purpose of this thing is to fuck it.
Yeah, the purpose is maybe it isn't to relive their traumatic experiences. Maybe it's for boys who are altar boys to be able to fucking return the favor on these old dudes.
Yeah, get off my lawn. This is actually my wife's dream dude. So, maybe one will be at the Patterson household soon. All she wants me to do is get old and gray, and that's it. So,
yeah. I mean, look, I bought a real doll, and I had to artificially age it. Like, you heat up the face so it wrinkles a little bit. You dye the hair gray. It was a lot of work.
Sure.
Now I can just buy the damn thing. But the cost of the old man doll hasn't been revealed yet, and I don't know what they're calling it either. I don't know if old man doll is the official title, so don't quote me on that one. But the female doll, like you said, the Harmony one sells for $12,000.
Yeah.
If there's probably a pink tax on this, right? So it's got to be like 10, probably, you would think.
So we bought a sex doll on our show. How many years ago was that, Dan? 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah. So let's just tell that whole story. Well, it's not the whole story. We bought that sex doll because we thought it was funny. It showed up, and a lot of it looked relatively realistic. The torso was not. The torso was normal, but the legs were short and the fingers were long and they bent in weird directions. Also, you could plug it in to heat up the vagina. And then the other thing was that the eyeballs were interchangeable. Now,
yes,
we had that thing on the Drinkin Bro set in San Antonio for a while, and then it disappeared. And it turns out that Edwin Parnell, the biggest dirtbag that any of us knows, had possession of it. And then all of a sudden, we blew it up. So I don't know if he was like, hey, what we should do is blow up that sex doll. That to me implies that he did some unspeakable things to it and wanted us to get rid of the evidence.
He fucked it.
That's what it says to me.
Yeah, he fucked the dog.
Fucking it is one thing. I think he did something else. I don't know what else, but I just feel like there's something else that happened.
Well, what were you going to say, Bob?
I just wanted to give you some notes on this company. They are also working on a male sex robot called Henry. And the company has been working on a bionic penis for Henry that will be able to become erect. I don't know if it's with the push of a button or what, but so it's flaccid until you don't want it to be. And they are also worried that once they start to animate the sex dolls' bodies, that it may become too powerful and harm those that were intending to use it sensually.
That's nice. That's really nice. Look, I know when we ordered ours, I forget what the fucking thing was or why we did it. I think there was some extra money left over, and we're like, fuck it, let's just get one of these goddamn things. It was $3,000, and then we had like a promo code, so it was down to like $2,000 or something like that. And it was like Dan was saying, all of the things that he said were true. However, heating up the vagina, Dan, I don't know if you remember this, was a USB.
Yeah.
So you had to plug that into like a wall or a computer, and then the vagina itself it came with 2 vaginas. So you could put it in the dishwasher, I guess. So I guess if you had already fucked it, you could put it in the dishwasher and then keep fucking it, and then get the other one out of the dishwasher.
How hot does the water? I've got 2 questions here, Bob, and maybe you can look this up for me, brother. One is, how hot does a dishwasher get? And then number 2 is, how hot does water have to be to kill semen? Because I don't think that any of this shit makes any sense, right?
I'm pretty sure semen would die pretty much like immediately in water.
When I say kill it, I don't mean like literally kill the semen. I mean make it so it doesn't get back into my body through one of my own orifices somehow, right? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Well, it'll stay there dead. I mean, you can drink dead jizz for days.
Yeah, I'm trying to not drink semen is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well.
All right.
Bob,
and when I say, so
if
let's say you put the fake pussy full of your fucking dumping loads in there all day, and then you put it in there, it's full of cum, then you wash it, right? Is the next load of dishes that you wash is covered in cum? What the fuck is going on here?
That would, I guess, depend on, your dishwasher. Like if you're...
God damn it.
Yeah.
That's your answer leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not going to buy one of these.
Dishwashers can get up to 145 degrees Fahrenheit in terms of hot water.
It's not going to kill it.
But what you want to do is annihilate it, right? You don't want any
Yeah.
clumps left. You don't want any, like if you made lasagna, right? You don't want anything left on the dish.
Yeah, we're about to go to Target, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a thermometer, like a candy thermometer, and boil water to 145 degrees, and I'm going to come on something and pour the water on it and see what happens, and I'll let you guys know.
There it is. And then we'll go live with that, I think. Maybe on Patreon. Definitely.
Yeah, record that.
Now's the point in the show we get to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week. And again, you could submit all your Drinkin' Bro of the Weeks to drinkinbros.com, simple submission form, and then it comes in, and then we read them as they are. This one is from Bill Schofield from Iowa, which doesn't exist. We love Bill Schofield, though. I know Bill. Member of Drinkin' Bros since day 3, homie. That's exact. He's going 3rd episode on that ass. He's nominating Airman Stephen J. Grossman. Reason for the nomination: I would like to nominate U.S. Airman Stephen J. Grossman for Drinkin' Bro of the Week. Though Stephen served this great nation with honor as a loadmaster in the 4th Airlift Squadron, it is his efforts as a civilian that has had a profound impact on my daily life. After leaving the United States Air Force, Stephen decided to leverage his creative prowess and production skills to benefit America's children. He took the world by storm when he donned a set of suspenders and a signature cap, becoming his destiny. Blippy, fuck off, Bill. God damn it, dude. I got all the way through that, and it's Blippy.
Wait, Blippy was a Lodi? I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Blippy!
I'm going to...
wow, well played, Bill Schofield. I got through all of this because he keeps going, and he says, in the years since diving headfirst into the world of kids' YouTube content, Blippy has become a staple in households worldwide. His educational videos reach millions and millions. I can't go down the rest of this rabbit hole with you, Bill, because it's another 3 pages here. But just know that you got me, and that's where you got me, was at Blippy. I was not expecting Blippy to be a loadmaster.
Stephen John. Stephen it's Stephen J. Grossman. That's his that's his real name.
I guess he was a airman.
Oh, he was a fucking... I didn't know he was in the Air Force. That's really funny. That's
it makes that diarrhea video more
that's
acceptable.
I mean, now everything makes sense. Son of a bitch.
Well played, Bill Schofield. I thought this was serious all the way up to fucking Blippy. That's the beauty of nominations for Drinkin' Bro of the Week. It can literally be anything, and when it comes in, man. These are not pre-screened, so we read them live, and whatever happens. So shout out to Blippy. I know both of my kids watch that motherfucker for like 4 hours a day. So,
God damn it.
God damn it, Bill Schofield.
Well,
well
what
played.
are you gonna do, man?
Well played.
Look, thanks for your service, Blippy. Thanks for keeping all those planes loaded. They supplied me with supplies. They got me to where I needed to be sometimes. And thanks for shitting on yourself, too. You set a good example for those children.
Exactly. Boston Joe's in the comments here, and he says, Ross got. I did get got. Boston Joe, I'm going to hit you up, actually, after the show. He's one of our hosts on Tailgate Legends on Drinkin' Bros Sports. I just found out, Dan, that the opening game, one is Ohio State on a Thursday night. So we'll do a live watch here from the studio because it's at Minnesota, and I don't know anyone who wants to go to Minnesota. So, it's a big no from everybody back there. So we'll do a live watch that night it's a Thursday night game. But the Saturday game, Dan, is a really interesting one. It's Clemson versus Georgia.
Yeah, that's the first game of the year, right?
Shit, dude.
They were talking about it on ESPN yesterday. Yeah. If Georgia wins that game against Clemson, there's a good chance, unless it goes completely tits up for them, that they make it to the CFP, right? I mean, you would almost assuredly make it to the CFP at that point.
Yeah, I mean, well,
unless they got beat by Florida. I mean, even if they lost one of the interconference but separate division games, like against Alabama or something like that, they would still probably make it to to the CFP, right?
Yeah, they've got to face Bama though, in the it's tough
in the conference. Yeah, if they lost twice to Bama, I mean that might be problematic.
What were you going to say, Delco?
We also got UCF Boise.
God, shut the fuck up.
Damn it, man. No one cares about that fucking
UCF
game.
Boise.
Do you remember Tropic Thunder when Les Grossman told the key grip to punch the director in the face really fucking hard? Bob, what are you doing right now?
Yeah, go ahead and fucking punch him in the face as hard as you can.
Just hit him in his butthole where his Crohn's is.
None of those teams.
I'll do butthole hit.
I'll take that back. They're looking at restructuring the playoff system as we speak. So yeah, there will be a day where they fucking make it.
Yeah,
but
not by next year, right?
No.
I mean, they're talking 12 teams, 8 or 12 teams now.
12
that's
teams.
Not
I think 12 teams. Yeah. When is it supposed to kick in? 2 years or something like that?
No.
Yeesh.
Whenever they need money now because they got to pay all their players.
Yes, they do, and that's a fun thing.
And see you, Dabo.
Yeah, and shit. The other part of this, by the way, this is the last kind of news story we'll put on fake news for the week. Is the very first college player has signed an endorsement deal today, actually. So good luck. You're opening up the floodgates for all of it now. But now it's like, all right, if you're branding all your shit and you're allowed to get paid for it, how hard are you going to play if you're already making?
Well, I mean, actually, Dabo came out yesterday or today, or at least through one of his players who was reporting on it, saying that he likes this. And if I'm a coach at a team that has top level, because we talk about this, that has those like super top level players that routinely leave after 3 years, this is a very, very good recruitment tool because one, you get clout for being at a university as large as Clemson with the population size as large as Clemson. So those kids that are coming there know profiting off their own likeness is going to be better at Clemson than it is in other places. Two, that's going to make them stay there longer. Those guys that are cusp players that leave after their junior year that go in the third and fourth rounds that are legit fucking college players, they might stay another year now because they can make their own fucking money. That's really good for college football.
He also said in 2019 that he would quit. If
he would quit. Yeah.
Players got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
he did. It'd be great if he did it. Boston Joe was saying, hey, dude, sounds like a great game to tailgate at. That's actually why I'm going to call you because the game is in Charlotte, which is a weird venue for Clemson versus Georgia. I don't know what the significance of that is, but it's in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I know Tansy and Instill Distilling and all those guys are down in Claytona
Charlotte,
Beach.
like they're going to play at the Panther Stadium or what?
Yes, they're going to play at that Panther Stadium. I mean, it's not really in the middle of those teams, so
no.
I would.
Well, it's north of both of them, although it's not that far away. I mean, well, it's Athens or Athens.
Yeah.
That's probably like 4.5 hours, right?
Yeah,
but it's probably the easiest place to fly into near both those schools. That has a big stadium.
I would have said it. Usually it's in Atlanta, man. Yeah.
I seriously doubt that Clemson's going to fly the hour and a half to Charlotte. And Athens is only 3.5 hours on 85. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange
Where
venue.
else would you go, though? I mean, you could go to Atlanta. Maybe they just didn't want to go to Atlanta.
Maybe. Hopefully the seltzer's out by then. We'll ship you some of that, Boston Joe. You guys can have a fucking party and go live. We got to figure that out. If we could go live from a fucking parking lot, that'd be great. It's internet that kind of fucks us in the end. So we'll see. We'll see how technology.
You know what we need to do? We need to fucking get Starlink and take it with us everywhere we go.
No, right? We're getting close, dude. We're getting close. I just don't trust it yet, but I feel like we're getting close. D'Anthony, fun show. A lot of shit going on, and it's going to continue. We got a bonus episode tomorrow that we're going to do with softcore history. That is our latest and greatest show on the network. It is hosted by Hot Bob and Delco Dan, and their co-host will join us tomorrow. So you're going to get an extra episode this week, same as last week. We had the Giggle Boys on, and you guys are big fans of them. And then we will be announcing another show here, D'Anthony, in the next couple weeks that we just signed this morning that I think you guys will love as well. So we're super excited. Endless content for you guys. And thanks for joining us. As always, go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a review. That is what has kept us in the charts every day for the last 6.5 years. And we are eternally grateful for that. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.